This is a Riker display case, which I really love. They're really, really great. And what they are very inexpensive display cases for collectibles of various sorts. And this particular variety was invented by this guy named Riker, who was a plant pathologist, and he collected plants. And they were originally developed for museums, museum displays. And they are basically a very simple thing, which is a cheap cardboard case with a glass front and some batting behind it. And there are some pins, which are on the side here, these little pins, just regular push pins, really. And the push pins come out. And then the case itself will pop off, and the batting is already in it. And so it makes it very, very easy to add things to it, because you don't have to do much to get. You don't have to. The mounting mechanism is here. Is you just lay things in here, and then put the case back on. So we could take these little figurines and you just lay them down, and this batting very gently pushes against the glass, and that is all the mounting that you need. And so it's a very, very fast way to collect and display things by just arranging them on this batting, put the glass back on, put the pins back into the cardboard, then you're done. You can either lay them in cases, or you can even mount them on the wall. And I'll show you in a second. But here's this dragonfly that I found, and I put the label on the inside. And this is a very common way that they would be mounted in a museum, using the very same kind of boxes. But nowadays, you can use them to display all kinds of things. I made a little display of fishing lures. They almost look like biological samples, different flies, but they're fishing flies from Montana that I purchased and then laid on the batting and put the Riker mount around it, and it's again a label, and they look beautiful. Some people use them to mount medals, jewelry, things that they collect. Some might include things like samples that they find. Here's another example, some biological samples that I got from Indonesia, a dried flying frog and a dried gliding reptile, and I put their Latin names on a little label, and I actually sprayed the batting a little bit with an off-white to make it seem a little bit older and kind of faded. So I toned down that bright white, to give it a little bit of old look. But this is, again, just laying the samples in, putting the glass on it, and immediately they're very, very permanently fixed in position. So that's the genius of these Riker mounts, and you can buy them for not very much money on Amazon, usually in little groups of 3 to 6, depending on the size. Riker mounts, I really like them.
I needed a dedicated space for charging all of my devices and found this Philips Surge Protector wall tap with USB charging station. It has 6 outlets and 4 USB slots, which works really well with my cable holder clip. This is held on with double-sided tape. It holds 3 cables, and it came in a 3-pack for about $8. But I only really needed space for my Kindle charger and my iPhone charger and my iPad charger. You can pull them up and they stay in place. And I really like that I don't have to keep my cables in a drawer anymore, or go digging for them, or have to deal with wrapping up cords and then unwrapping them. I really should have set this up a long time ago.
This is a Fisker's small paper cutter. It's a really great way to cut pieces of paper with straight lines. It's a lot better than scissors. It's got this guide that folds out, and so you can just put your piece of paper in there, and there's plenty of markings for inches to see exactly where to cut the paper. And then once you have it lined up exactly where you want to cut it, you fold this part down, and then you put pressure on this tab here. You just go through once with this little slider, and it cuts a perfectly straight line. And it's a Fisker's small paper cutter.